now is going to help.
All right, we're recording it, 20 minutes into the call here. But just a quick recap. We've ported over all the AIs from the go-to-market motion and walking through it with Robert, representing marketing, so you can see all the details here. All right, let's move forward. So work back plan. When do we think realistically we can get a work back plan on this?
Well, Robert, you said you're going to be busy working on your Q3 OKRs. Is that going to be until the end of the quarter?
I'm focused on finishing this pipe to spend by the end of the week.
Okay.
Can we at least cycle through before end of the week, Robert and Matt, around kind of, all right, what do we think this house looks like from an L1 perspective? Possible?
Yeah, I can take a look at shared calendar between Matt and I. Matt, I have a block open tomorrow if you're free to chat in the early afternoon, late morning.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. All right. So I'll let you guys offline that coordination.
Yep.
Anything else from you need clarity on the single pane view dashboard?
No, I mean, I think it's just we'll come up with a kind of a framing of what we think it should look like, and then we can have that discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, to Jack's earlier point, let's make sure that, you guys are the general contractors, confirm with the homeowners that this is exactly what the renovation should look like, right?
Yeah, perfect. Definitely before we get started.
All right, let's move on. So, and then I also added in here just to review previous meeting of this meeting's AI. So let's do that as soon as we go through the go-to-market AIs. The second item here, what are the prioritized analysis needed from this team? And we kind of source some asks here. Some might be already in flight. Some, I'm sure we've talked about many of these. Any initial kind of thoughts from the group here?
The web direct is a hot topic, but not something that I have a foreseeable plan to correct in the short term. Okay. It is something that's always in the back of my mind, and that marketing ops discusses at least on a weekly basis, if not more often. But it is a beast for a reason.
So I recall before Jack went on mat leave or Pat leave, sorry, that initial source was a issue that was trying to be addressed. Do we know where that is, or do we need other?
I'm looking up right now. So I gave a deliverable to Todd. I gotta find it over in here. It's in a closed milestone. I delivered to Todd and Dara my initial analysis of we have how WebDirect say, hey, here's my initial source. We all know that they just all say they're WebDirect. So if Matt Benzaquin went in and said, hey, I went to this great event, I signed up for the thing, it says WebDirect.
Yep.
We did the simple exercise of go find those contacts, go find their initial sources, and port that up to the opportunity, right, and compare.
Yep.
I'll go in and I'll go find it and link it in the doc. And there was a delta, but it was like a 6% decrease in WebDirects in terms of initial source.
So not significant.
It depends on how how many millions of dollars in marketing spend is that. So, it depends on how you look at it. It could be significant, but it's not this massive game-changing, holy crap, style results. That said, my next follow-up question was, well, are we 100% super secure about the initial source of our leads and contacts? Is there any wobble there? Because that's what I use.
Well, that seems to be the question here, right? So we lose initial source. Is that not happening anymore to your knowledge?
It never was.
It never was.
It never was. There's just confusion. Again, it's a missing link where if person takes action via traditional marketing source, they download a white paper and their initial source is white paper, and then they go to the web portal and buy it, the op comes over WebDirect, right? That happens, but only happens 6% of the time. Or that math does not translate like that. It only happens in a small percentage of the time.
Okay, so let's get Dara as an AI just to confirm this. Fair?
Yep, we did. I went over with all of them. You know, it's obviously was not, you know, everyone wanted a nice big world changing answer. It was not. So
Yeah, but obviously it wasn't clear enough because this was brought up again.
all right, happy to go over there. I thought we beat that horse sufficiently dead.
Okay.
But happy to go back over with them. Let me go find that issue and link it in the.
Okay, perfect. All right. What about the other asks here? Verified DNC filter on. I think this was just a confirmation. Robert, do we have a do not contact checkbox or process? And do we filter them out?
I am fairly confident that we do, but let me just add a line there for me that I will verify that today.
Okay.
That's a simple yes or no.
It's binary. All right. The other ones are a little bit broader, I think. What KPIs are required to grow 100% year over year?
So I think we need to do the dashboard to show that. Yeah, or at least do an analysis to show, you know, conversion rates, ASPs, so that we see, okay, we need this many MQLs to reach these IACV goals.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Robert, do you concur?
I do, and specifically as an addendum, think that the Topo Dashboard project is going to help with that as well, which Matt, you and I will discuss, and might just be something we leverage to build that.
Okay.
Opo Dashboard, what is that?
Topo is.
I know what Topo is, but where is that?
It's a dashboard that's still in the fledgling stage. It's still in the Google Sheet. It's not been built in Periscope, but will be built that will show side-by-side funnel of account-based and volume-based from net new to closed won, conversion rates, totals, and eventually velocity.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of a golden nugget there for what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a silver bullet. Cohort analysis of account potential. Zach says only retention churn analysis is available. Ryan linked an issue. What is the issue here? That's not the issue link, it's a Salesforce link. There it goes. Report link, sorry. Mid-market size bucket, net retention.
This is what we went over in the last meeting.
Mm-hmm. You want to summarize that, Matt?
Let me see if I can remember. So yeah, he was just showing that it looks like it was like the net retention needs to double. And he was showing that in the categories for mid-market. So if you look at like the columns over to the left, it's going down over time and not doubling. And that was his point to make. You know, on the enterprise side, or like on the higher end of mid-market, it's going up, but on the lower end, it's going down over time. And so he had concerns there in terms of how do we double, because that's what's expected. Versus what the data is showing us, it's not happening.
And he's using a filter of stamped sales segment, so it's frozen in time.
Yeah, so that's mid-market is getting stamped on the opportunity, I believe, when it's created.
Hold on.
So if that account changed,
and he's looking at renewals.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Because the goal is, well, I guess 190 now, but it was 200 at the time of that conversation. And so he wants to see 200% net retention in those renewals.
Okay. So of these additional asks, so it's really number 3 that's related to the dashboard above. All the other 3 and 4, right, Matt? So that maybe that's kind of queued up, right, for analysis needs.
Yeah. So Robert and I will talk tomorrow about the framework of the single pane of glass version of the dashboard, and then we can discuss that second requirement for the 100% year-over-year growth in that same conversation.
Great. Okay. Now we resolved 1 and 2. Okay. Awesome. Any other questions on this?
I guess on 4, what's the ask there? So I get that we need the cohort analysis. Who's the DRI and what's the expectation?
Good question. I feel like this was brought up before. I don't recall how we had parsed this out.
Maybe we discuss with Ryan on the call to get more clarification in terms of what he's expecting or what he was going for.
Yeah, let's not leverage the motion call for it, but maybe sync offline with him or async with him on an issue. So if we can create, it'd be amazing if we can get issues created for this team, right? So that we know exactly, hey, we've got the sales marketing metrics team. Here's our board. Here are the things that we're working on, etc. Yep. Okay. Maybe even create a label called, I don't know, GTM metrics, something. Not that we need additional metrics. Robert, I don't know if you have any opinions about that.
No, I mean, names are always in fluctuation.
Yeah. So create
DBA works for now, and then we can fine tune it once we get something.
Yeah. Maybe create go-to-market metrics. Can always iterate on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That'll make it really easy.
Okay. Actually, I'll take that AI. Okay, let's move on. Time check, 9:30. Any AIs from last week? How do I not go to the? There it is. Okay. To confirm SDRs are calling attendees. Yes, but they were told it's not high priority. It should be very soft. Intent is not to convert. Intent is not to convert leads? No. Not sure what that means.
It means, I think this is part of the conversation we had as well, where it's not that we go to, or we have attendees and then we immediately convert them to MQLs. It's like a slow bake over time.
Okay. So
the intent is not to convert in that first conversation, but obviously the intent is to convert at some point in the future. Got it.
Okay. So it looks like there's a follow-up on how we're following up on leads, events.
Yes.
Okay. So Dara, if you're watching this, looks like we just need to tie off on that. Matt, were MQLs broken up by segment? Dara, the follow up with Robert. Robert, I'm not sure if that was pinged. Were the MQLs broken up by segment, or is there plans to?
It is possible. I haven't added it to the final dashboard, but it's simple enough to do so.
Okay.
How would you link that, Robert, for my own? I could think of like 3 different ways of determining the segment on a lead. And concisely, roughly how would you do it, do you think?
The first swipe at what I've done is just simply taking the segment stamp from the leader contact record. Ideally, as the move forward iteration would be to do the lookup between lead and account, using account segment as the default, but I haven't done that yet. Okay. So right now it's specifically looking at whatever the segment stamp on the lead and contact are, and bucketing them that way. Got it. That's awesome. Which field is your current end result field in Salesforce? I think that would dispel a lot of stuff for Matt. Let me look it up and I'll link it. Right. Great.
Okay. this, essentially just ties in with our whole segment, clarity on segmentation, right?
Yeah.
Right. Capacity model, work in progress revenue model, AI, what are the targets for FY20 by quarter? What specific targets?
I believe those were the MQL targets.
Yeah. Do we have MQL targets? Oh, this model, yeah.
Yeah,
We do, but we don't have them segmented, right? Sorry, what was that, Robert?
I said we do have MQL targets and goals.
Where can I see it in this file?
You can see it on the marketing metrics dashboard at the very bottom. And then just scroll to the very bottom. It's also in the handbook on our KPI goals there. There's a KPI page that I'm going to link into that KPI box.
Okay.
And those goals are high level, not broken out by segment, right?
Right.
We do not have segment-based goals yet. That is what's going to be derived from that spreadsheet that David was looking at.
Okay.
It's going to be derived from this.
Yes. Yeah, this is something that I'm working with Zach Gaston on to essentially reverse engineer all of those goals down to a much more segmented level.
Okay. So you are working with finance on that.
Correct. That's that Topo project, which is where the Topo dashboard is going to come from. It's all linked together.
Okay. Do you have an ETA on that?
No.
Okay. Okay, what else? Anything else? No other AIs? This is just what we had agreed to and we communicated on the go-to-market motion. Okay, awesome. What else? Obviously, this is a lot. Do we have anything we can, what's on the go-to-market motion agenda for nothing?
Friday.
Okay. All right. So can we all agree that we can at least communicate the update on what we agreed to here, which is represented in this agenda at a very high level? Yeah? All right. I see heads nodding.
Yep.
All right. Good. Anything else you guys wanted to cover?
No.
No. So we could just